Hello, everybody. My name's Ardendrous, and welcome back to All the Mods 10. Yeah, I need to leave. I was thinking I might be able to stay in this area long. Uh, does this taste like metal to you? I was hoping I might be able to stay close enough by for the intro at least, but nope. Wow. This is a problem. This is a serious problem right now. Where does the radiation end? No, there's no radiation here. I just have very severe radiation sickness, I guess. And absolutely no way to get rid of it right now, right? The Hydra's Heart's regen is enough to save me here. Anyways, yes, hello, welcome back to All the Mods 10. Last time I believe last time was making the Draconic Reactor and finally get it working, right? It's been a couple of days. I keep coming on to do some prep work and some other odds and ends, but I don't remember exactly what happened. Anyways, when does when does this run out? I really want to know. Does this run out? Is the only way to clear radiation sickness to die? Because, yeah, I might have had a little bit of a mistake where I might have released a rather large amount of plutonium into the air. And, here we are. So, I think I just permanently have radiation sickness at this point. This is a problem. I'm not dying. I have enough regen and enough food solutions to not worry about dying here. But I'd rather not just eternally have radiation poisoning and just constantly taking damage. So, sure. You know what? I'm gonna take the purposeful death, and then we're going to go back to the site, reactor site with everything on tow. This is surprisingly slow. Is there really? There's no iodine pills or anything? I can't. It's iodine. Well. Super severe radiation poisoning is almost death sentence. It's like, oh, there's like very little chance to survive radiation if it's too heavy. So I suppose that makes sense. I just need to take... That just needs to come off. Yep, not great, not terrible. Let's see. Die to radiation poisoning. Take damage from radiation poisoning. That's what I want to happen. Thankfully... we immediately start in ghostly shape, so this doesn't affect us. But if we pull out the Geiger counter real quick... oh, that's actually gone down. Oh, there it is. 388. Yeah, that's a big old scary number right there. Yeah, I want to switch out... where is my pipe? Here it is. Is this not inputting? Do I have to set this thing to output from the bottom? I think I still do. Output bottom. So, yep, I now have 2 of these set up on polonium because we have way more than enough plutonium at this point for everything we're going to need. But we are short on polonium too, so need to get that flowing a bit more. So I ended up destroying the thing because it was stuck full of polonium because I forgot. And, yep, now we are here. But, the machine itself is working fine now if I turn it on. And this one, still running fine, containment's at 18% and rising, energy saturation's at 93. I now have it boosted to 1.3 million OP and 110 inputs. 110,000 rather inputs. Just because we're going to need to start ramping it up because I started looking ahead at the supercritical phase shifter. And oh boy, this thing is expensive and it's going to need so much power. Like literally like 400 million FE a tick. So that's something. That's going to be a challenge. But anyways, to get this thing working properly, it was maxing out at like 8 inputs. Like, it was maxing at a rate limit of 10, and then for whatever reason, that started exploding too, so I had to bring it down to 8. but I understand why now. It was a mixture of sodium input being too low, so I ended up upgrading all of these and creating another sodium thing, which production, oh yeah, they can't produce anymore because we're filled up on sodium. But each of these produces a maximum of 1100 millibuckets a tick. If I were to increase this one's height by one block, it would go to like 1400. So each, I'm not entirely sure what would be more reliable, what were to produce more. Three of them stacked like this that are the same size, each producing 1100. Or if I were to make this one super massive one and see how much it produced then, I don't actually know. So there's that. I was actually missing enough water, so I ended up moving the sink from the little kitchen by the farm in just to produce a little bit more water, because making these hydro pumps is a little annoying. So now all of these have enough water, and in fact, that was part of why this thing wasn't running any higher than 8. This thing would run out of water, and thus it wouldn't be able to do anything with the superheated sodium, so therefore this thing would just start building it up and go into meltdown. So with all of that solved, I can now run this pretty much freely at 12 max rate, and in fact, I could probably boost this thing even more. I just don't have enough, I just don't have enough of the things inside of it to boost any higher right now. I'm gonna have to build some more. But just double check all of these as soon as saving world's done. Yep, that thing's just going. This thing's staying stable on water. This thing's producing an extra 87 kilo FE a tick. And this thing is now boosted to 1.1 input, 1.1 million input at any given time. And in about an hour and a half, this place will no longer be irradiated, which would be nice. But anyways, what are we working towards today? I don't actually know. I was just working on some odds and ends and saw this happen and figured it was important enough to share. What did I... Spent nuclear waste. Oh yeah, I forgot there was such a thing as spent nuclear waste. What do you actually do with spent nuclear waste? Spent... I believe that it will slowly decay over time, because that's how the other nuclear waste works. If it will actually load, and let me see it. 1 second. You good now? It actually loaded up eventually. Spent nuclear waste has 0 uses, so that's a thing. Basically, you store this stuff and hope that eventually it disappears. That seems like the gist of it. Hold on, do I have this thing to output waste to the front? I don't know. Looks like it. Anyways, polonium, this is building up already. This one's building up some already. And pretty quickly, we're going to reach 4 stacks of this stuff. And at that point, we should be approaching our ability to make the machine itself. Although, apparently we're going to need polonium to run the thing as well, so we're not there yet. Anyways, that's the wrong one. This is producing HDPE now. This one, I just keep going in and putting apples in, because I grabbed some nature essence from into the computer and was able to just do like that, although it looks like I'm out now. Anyways, I'm going to need a bunch of this HDPE stuff too, again for the SPS, so I need to start stockpiling. But I suppose, since we're getting close, we might as well start building some of the pieces. So, for the supercritical phase shifter, this is an important thing. It will let us get the mecha suit, which I think is the best armor. And I believe we need it for the gravitational modulating additional unit, which is the thing we need for the ATM star. If I remember correctly. Nope, that's the wrong thing. What is the right thing? Hold on. ATM star. It's the gravitational modulating unit. You know, this thing's just actually kind of cheap. We could make that right now. This thing's gonna be a pain though. So, supercritical phase shifter. I got distracted. Here it is. Oh yes, I should also look at using what mod is it again? Industrial foregoing? No, integrated dynamics. Apparently these things, these exporters and importers can move like 2 billion items at a time. So that's pretty cool. If I set those wires up on here instead of like the mechanical pipes, I could move like 2 billion water into everything here and never have to worry about it again. Because these have infinite water. It's basically just a problem of how much gets pumped out at any given time. So, well, take a look at it. I don't actually think it's that expensive either. Anyways, once again, mechanical reactor. For the supercritical phase shifter, we need 60 SPS casings, 100 and some on structural glass, 4 SPS ports, and 2 supercharged coils. I already have all that stuff saved over here. So 60 SPS casings, which I believe these two actually give a couple for free. Okay, yes. Build 1 port, get 2 for free, and then build 1 more. Okay, so this thing requires 1 ultimate control circuit and 4 SPS casings. For one of these, we're going to get 2, we need to build 4. So I guess we'll start there, but I guess that also requires these things. So 4 polonium and a plutonium, as well as 4 HDPE sheets. That's where the current problem is going to lie, but we'll work on it. So I'll just go like this. 32 SPS casings. Very, very good start. Anyways, let's go ahead and just immediately use these to not make that, because I'm going to need 1 more of these things, which is to say 2 more atomic alloys, which I do not have. In fact, I am basically out of alloy besides the infused one, and all of that's over at the other place. Yeah, I know I have all of this fixed, and it is running perfectly fine at this point. Like, I have not seen any problems with any of these machines since in all like my tests to try and get it all fixed. But I am still super terrified to leave all these machines on their own. So let's just head on over the farm. I still have radiation poisoning. Like, everything is still green. Thankfully it's not bad enough to actually do damage to us yet, though. Anyways, these things, I can make 1 right now. Cool, SPS port. And with that, 2 more for free and the SPS casings back. Just need to build 1 more of them. So 1 more ultimate control thing, 2 more atomic and an elite. I can make the elite. Atomic alloy. Atomic alloy. How do I make you again? That is the blue one with enriched / refined obsidian. So this thing and 2 of these. Where meanwhile I only have 1. How do I make reinforced again? That is the red one with diamond. Do I have any enriched diamonds left? I don't think so. So I'm either going to have to use regular diamond or wait a bit for it. I also, come on. Every time you hit the wrong teleport button, it just wastes like 30 seconds. I have diamond to dust. I guess I'll use that. I don't know if I'm going to need you, but I'll take you. Anyways, so there's a lot of back and forth. I really, really should just move all those machines over here. There we go, it's no longer green. Anyways, not enrichment. Actually, yes, enrichment? Yes, enrichment. That will give me a diamond ore. It's better to just wait a little bit and do it this way. It's less wasteful. Anyways, just never mind. How do I get enriched diamond? I don't remember. Oh, well, just put diamond dust in there. Oops. Whatever. And just put as much in there as we can. This will slowly go through. We'll get 1 more blue. It will go in, become another... become atomic. 1, 2. These things go in here. I only needed 1. I forgot. That's why I said I only needed 1. Whatever. There's a lot, so much inventory management and so much stuff to worry about. So with this, make you into an ultimate one. Make 1 more SPS port. There. That's all of those. That leaves 1 supercharged coil, although we're going to need to make a second one. That is a laser, 2 more ultimate control circuits. I'll do that again. Copper, polonium. We already have some. Lasers. 3 reinforced. Good thing I'm making extras. Steel casing, easy. Diamond, easy. Energy tablets. Easy enough. I just need to get it all together, and that's a lot of things that are going to take up a lot of inventory space. So I guess I'm just going to get everything together real quick. Okay, I think I might have everything now. It's going to be close. I can keep making some more. It's just going to take a moment. Anyways, for the 2 lasers, because we're going to need 2 of these things, going to need 2 steel cases, 1 and 2. So there's that. Have everything else. A laser, just missing 4 energy tablets. So 1, and I can only make 3. Do I still have? Yes, I do. I still have some in there. Why? Why? Oh, no, Robot, can I have that back, little buddy? Come on, can I see this? Thank you, Robot. Anyways, with these, I should be able to make the lasers. 1 laser. And 2 laser, quest complete lasers. It's too late, I'm gonna make it, but I have a feeling that recipe, that little pop-up was saying, get me a free one. Lasers. Yes, it was. Cool. You ever see those tutorials that use beacons as a laser security gate? No. Then when you try it, you get disappointed it doesn't kill people? Well, lasers do just that. Trust me, they look like beacons and they definitely kill. Unlike beacons, though, you can't change its color with glass, most likely because they break almost every block that gets in their way and voids the drops. They also use energy instead of materials to get powered. I don't know the exact number of damage they do, but they do enough to fry a chicken the instant it touches the laser. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. And then there's amplifiers. Okay, I should have looked over here, but it looks like I did not have to go out of my way to make those things. I could have just made the one and gotten some for free. That's a little sad to know after the fact. But anyways, with that... Laser, it's not going to autocomplete for some reason. Fine, I'll do it myself. Anyways, 1, 2, 1, they don't stack. Oh, they do stack. Why won't it autofill then? Weird. I'm going to need to make 2 more ultimate control circuits. I miscounted somewheres. But with that, we have our first supercharged coil. And it's going to give us 4 more free SPS casings. I'm going to need to make all the structural glass and a few more SPS casings themselves. And just get 2 more of the... Oh. I just completely forgot that I'm going to need more refined. So there's that, and I'm going to need to turn a couple more of you into blue. Okay, so once this is done, I think this is going to give us these. These get enriched. Give me those. Go away. That gets enriched. This will get enriched, and then I use these to make ultimates, and then the ultimates will get used with a couple more of these. 4? I think 4. I'll just put 4 in here. 1. That will go like so. That will go like so. I'm going to need 2 more. 2 of these and more of these. I have no idea if I have enough. I think it's close. Let me just keep working through it. I'm like right there, I think. There we go. 2 more ultimate control circuits means that... Let me just move the items. Like, I've seen that with a couple of mechanism things, and it's just weird every time it happens. Like, why? Anyways, that, and then all 3 of these will get us another supercharged coil, meaning that we're just about there. 32 of these. I'm short on the HDPE sheets right now. Actually, with all the quests that give us extra little bits and pieces of the stuff, are we actually there besides the HDPE? Am I really just waiting on some more of this stuff then? 60. 33. Need to make 27 of those more. Actually, I think we're relatively close. We're a couple pieces of polonium short, and obviously a few more pieces of these. But I just need to go get some more nature essence to go make a bunch of infinite apples, and then from there, should be relatively simple. It's just a waiting game right now, but we're pretty close to having everything we need. And while we're waiting, I guess I'll get started on making more of these. I think I need to get more steel in the meantime, though. Okay, so I think we actually have enough polonium now. We're just waiting on the last handful of HDPE sheets. So while we're waiting anyways, might as well start reading up on how this thing specifically works and how to build it. So, while being one of the most expensive machines in Mechanism, it isn't actually that difficult to use. First, after building it, we'll need to fuel it with polonium. Tube some into some of the SPS ports because we'll need to charge our polonium into antimatter. To charge it, we'll need to power our supercharged coils, cable massive amounts of energy into the SPS ports so they can move it to the supercharged coils. I'm on the wrong side here. I should be on the other side because I feel like this is probably something that's important enough to charge directly from this. Either that or I just build a secondary output on this side just specifically for the SPS. That's probably actually worth it. Anyways, from there, let's continue on. Supercharger will need to power our supercharged cables into the SPS port so they'll move to the supercharged coils. Each supercharged coil can only take so much energy, so for optimal efficiency, use two. Yes, you can use one, but come on, we need antimatter this year, not next year. Once we've blasted the polonium with millions of Fe, we'll get our antimatter. Wait, this is chemical antimatter? We need boop, 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 physical antimatter, which you get by using it in the chemical crystallizer, much like a bunch of other stuff. So, cool. It's basically the gist of it that we get right there. Pump in large amounts of things, build the thing, put in polonium and large amounts of other stuff, and then eventually you'll get antimatter, is basically the gist of it. But I do have this little space here. I would have needed to like clear part of the mountain on the other side for what we're going to need, so I'm just going to build it here. Would have loved it to be more front and center, and I guess from this side it is. I don't know. I didn't plan this thing out that well in advance. I definitely could have done better with it. Anyways, can't really use the SPS casings yet, can I? Because I need to get to 60 in order to complete this. Way, thanks for 9 millibuckets of antimatter. That's so useful. Anyways, structural glass. I already have all of it. I guess I can start on the structural glass. So it's like an inner 3, 3, 3, 3. 3 dot 3 dot. I guess I'll grab like a secondary block for this. So let's say I build it there. And then it would be 1, 2, 3, like so. And just repeat that pattern here. And okay, I think I get the gist of it. I'll just replace those blocks with it. Everything in the middle here can be structural glass. 3, that, and we're basically building a sphere in the same style. Cool, I think I see how it's going to go. And then I was reading up a little bit on it, and I think all of the walls are exactly the same. That's trash can. I didn't mean to open that. So, yep, that's what it looks like. Replace it. And then, like, those ones will become the bottoms of the walls, which are built exactly like this and just in a sphere. On the front, we need 2 of those things instead of the bottom 2 pieces of glass. And then on either side, like right in the middle of the glass, is going to be our outputs and inputs for power. So cool. Just basically waiting on enough SPS coding pieces at this point. It shouldn't take too much longer, just need 10 more, right? Yeah, 10 more, meaning 40 more of these. I just need to keep making sure this thing's running for a little bit longer. Okay, and here we are. 1, 2, bringing us to a grand total of 60 SPS casings. Everything else is currently set up. I was looking here to see if this thing said how much the Draconic Evolution thing maxed out at. It does not, sadly. Anyways, we have everything we need for the for the SPS. It will give us a bunch of energy cubes and induction cells, which I pulled these up in a test world before and couldn't figure out how they worked, but basically what you're supposed to do with these is set up like a giant battery. These are like the little mechanism batteries. These things like hold much more, but they're multi-block things. I guess I'll take the free antimatter, because why not? Anyways, this stuff, I believe I just do like 1 layer, like through all of these little spots that are missing it. Like here, 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 and I want to say this is exactly what I'm doing. But 1 second, let's pull up this sheet. Yes, just tracing the outside of the outline of the glass. So there's no block there. So obviously I cannot place something on a block that does not exist. I have to place it on the block next to it. Cool. Anyways, it's going to take me just a moment to do this, But we should get to see the UI for the SPS. We are nowhere near ready to start it, though. I need to start stockpiling, like, gaseous polonium, which is going to take a little while. I turned off the machine because I had it stop producing physical things so that it could start setting up fluid or gas ones. But I do not currently have something to store all that gas and eventually will overflow and cause an explosion. So let's avoid that for now. Anyways, with this, and with this, and these two last blocks were the last ones I missed, the SPS is now good to go. Status? Words are hard. Status idle. Show recipe 40 million FE a tick and 1 millibucket a tick of polonium. 1000 becomes 1. How much do I currently have stored up? Let's go over here. This thing has 300. This thing has 165. These things currently... Okay, so altogether, if I could pull it out of these things, I don't think I can. But among these things, there's like 3.5, which would become 4 millibuckets of antimatter. And I need 1,000. That's kind of rough. But 1,000, basically just keep letting it run. It's not that slow, especially if I were to upgrade this thing. What I probably should do is both upgrade this thing and move it underneath this, although that will make wiring sodium everywhere is a little bit rougher. What I actually should have done is probably build that right there. That's probably the better place for it, but... where is the best place for this? Maybe even where like the turbine is would be the best place. I don't really need that. It's just a little bit of extra power. But where am I going to come up with 40 million FE a tick? Like, this thing is currently only producing 2.5? Yeah, we're currently only inputting 2.5 from this silly powerful reactor. Where am I going to pull up an extra 38 some on? And let's see, that is 40 million a tick. Let's see, it hits a 1,000 a tick. Hopefully it's only active when there's enough in there. I have a decent amount stored in here. 15% of 2.14 tera OP. But I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things between like conversions and whatnot. Let's see. It's 40 million a tick. It has 15%, so like 1/10 of that. Okay, so this thing has like 200 billion stored in it right now, roughly. Okay, so that means that I could probably run everything in there right now with no issue. It's close, and it would drain us entirely, but technically speaking, I think it would work. I definitely need to come up with some sort of way to counteract it, though. Maybe I only run this sometimes. Maybe I only run this for just enough antimatter. So I basically only need to get this to like 30 million, and then with whatever's stored up, we should be able to get it working. Like, it's not like I need infinite antimatter. I just need enough for the ATM stuff. Okay, so basically, what am I currently sitting at? Containment field is there. You can go right away. Yeah, at this point, I guess I just keep working. 9 antimatter after looking to see how much stuff I need to make 9 antimatter. That's actually a decent amount. And it can fit in chemical tanks, so that's good. I don't think the polonium can. That has to go in like the radioactive barrels, I think. It's worth testing, although I don't know if I trust it. This is that. This is holding the polonium. It is a gas. It is considered a gas. Do I have a free gas tank? Yes, I do. I'm going to try this. That does not work. Inputs from all sides, inputs, outputs, input on the back. Okay, no, you cannot input polonium into just anything. It has to be like radioactive barrels, which kind of sucks because you can't move the radioactive barrels. So that's going to make moving it around annoying. Hold on, yes, I can. I can just place them in a cardboard box, can I? Testing time. This thing right here. Wait, Did these run out of radioactive waste? They've been running for a little while. Game, we okay? Okay, this has 165 polonium in it. Cardboard box. Okay, you cannot put everything in a cardboard box. They have specifically made it so that you cannot put nuclear waste in a cardboard box. Okay. I suppose that would be kind of game-breaking, so I guess it makes sense, but I was hoping at a way around this. Instead, you basically have to pump this everywhere, so there's no way to move those. Okay, so that's good to keep in mind. I'm trying to think about how I'm going to set this up. It's going to be a hassle. I'm going to need to run wires through everything. Let's see. Basically, I'm going to have to... These two are powered enough to run. Like, I basically use up all the nuclear waste just with these two, so that's not going to help. What I would need to do is, like, set this thing up to run more, to produce more. Then gas pipe these out into a singular nuclear waste thing, and then that gets pumped out all the way over here. Let's see, Actually, I think I have enough to do it. I just need to make another nuclear waste barrel real quick. Nuclear... What are you actually called? Are you just radioactive? Radioactive waste barrels, sorry. I think I see how we're going to do this. It is going to be a little bit rough, though. Radioactive waste barrel. Oh, it's just lead and steel. I thought it was something else entirely. That's much easier. And I actually completely forgot to put in some very important pieces on this. That's the supercharged coil and the other supercharged coil. And you know what? I might be able to just set those both up on plugs. That might work. I think I only have one plug on me right now. Plug, receives, adding to the flux network. Nope, I need 2 points. In fact, I have 1 flux point on me right now. That gets hooked up on there. This thing just bypasses whatever limit I have set on it. And in fact, just make the limit that anyways. And flux point. Flux. Come on, it's being kind of slow. Flux points needs 4 more of these. Thankfully, I have like millions of stuff stored in here. Either that or it keeps getting duplicated with the resetting thing. That is also quite probable. So that goes there. And once again, gets set up to the network. And gets set up with bypass limits and like that, just in case. So, cool. As soon as I can figure out how to pump everything in and out of this like I want, this one will be for storing... This one is storing antimatter and can go like so. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. It only goes like a couple millibuckets at a time anyways. This one, what I'll probably do is put a radioactive barrel here and pump it in here, and it's going to get another right thing, I guess. Okay, I think I see how I'm going to do this. These wires, these two are going to have to get upgraded. I think they don't have anything right now. And I think I can just go like so, and just run the wire all the way over. Going to be a little bit annoying. I think I'm probably going to be a little bit shy on wires, but I'll try and make it work real quick. Okay, so I think I have all the gas wiring done. I forgot these could only go in from the top and bottom, so it's a little bit rougher. But radioactive waste, might as well just store, both of them just combine over to this one, which immediately gets pumped all the way over through, like, the underground thing here, to this one, which is storing 4,100 polonium right now. I don't know if this automatically activates. I am entirely scared to try it, because that will be the death of all energy in the system. I'm really hoping it will only take energy as soon as it gets 1,000 of this. So currently it's sitting at 4,000. That will do it. I suppose we start it. What happens if power goes off right now? This thing stops producing these things. It's already done producing those anyways. This thing's not running. We stop producing fuel, but we're maxed out. Okay, I don't think anything bad happens if we run out of energy right now. Like, this thing is not set up to fix missing energy yet, but it's not going to turn off if we have... This thing will turn off if we have 0 energy. Hmm. That's extra bad. That thought just crossed my mind. That thing turns off if energy hits 0, because there will be no energy input in order to stop it from getting shut off. And I don't know if I can stop this thing once it's going. My only way I could think of would be to turn off its power input. And I don't know if something bad happens if you just stop producing antimatter halfway through the process. It feels like it should. I am scared here. I am scared of what happens here. The 2.14 tera P, it's storing up to 17%. Yeah, I think it's probably worthwhile to get this thing running up to at least 30 million before I hit the go button on that thing. So currently at 2.5, 2.2. I could probably go up to 2.7 right now with no problem. Containment will probably hit 15 again. And then when I go back up, yeah. Now that I understand Draconic a lot more, or a little bit better, I don't hate it as much. Like, I understand how the systems work. I might have been a bit too aggressive with my dislike of this mod when I didn't understand it. But there are still parts of it I think are just kind of flawed in design. I understand them better now, but I do think there's some flaws in this mod. 2.7, containment field's gonna stop at like 15. What I should probably do is boost this to 25, and then this gets boosted up to 3 million. That's 3 million. That should be good. Don't think we're going to go into any problems because of that. Okay, 3 million. I was a little bit slow on boosting the output there. I probably, maybe you should have done output first and then did the 250 million. Just because it seems to settle a little bit easier if this hits the new input at the same time this hits the new output. Okay, so 19% roughly, 18 point something. I'm just gonna repeat this process a little bit. I'll settle for 20 million right now. I think 20 million in, 40 million out with what we have stored should be safe for a little while. At least enough to get at least a little bit of antimatter rolling right now. So let me keep working on it a bit. Okay, so I've spent the last like 20 minutes fiddling with the settings on this thing. It is now producing 11.5 million RF a tick. OP equals RF equals ME, I think, as well. So like we're at 11 and a half, currently spending 1 million. So essentially we're making 10.5 FE a tick, or minus everything else, so probably 10.4, yep. So fairly good. With how many ticks it took me to get to this point, we can 100% run that thing for a little bit. I am still staying at about that 22% mark just to be a little bit on the safe side. But I could probably push another 500,000 out of this. I'm trying to be safe by staying at this number being roughly 11 times, or I'm trying to keep this number between 11 and 12 times higher than this number. That seems to be in like the safe range. Not the maximum you can run, but one of the safest ranges. Then I also saw something that said core temperature should never exceed 7,000. 7,000 is danger zone. So this is probably going to be the limiting factor as to like what maximum amount of power gets drawn out of the machine. But this I'm maintaining properly, this I'm maintaining properly. I could probably pretty quickly run this thing up to 20 million, but it is getting late and I'd rather see this run at least once. We definitely have enough power sword. Like that's only going to run through to create 4 millibuckets of antimatter. It's going to run through 4 times. Assuming this doesn't take like 30 years to do one and it's taking that million every time, I've taken way more ticks than that. In fact, in the amount of time I was in speaking that one sentence, I probably did enough ticks to make this work, just because ticks are relatively short. So I'm gonna do this. We're gonna see it work. Oh, what? Are we done? Oh, we're done. Oh. Okay. I didn't even get time to the thumbnail. Cool. Okay. Um, that wasn't even a blip. That was 40 million FE a tick, but it only took like 4 ticks. Okay. So let's run this. This is still gonna run perfectly fine, right? Yes, it is. So here we go. Polonium won't fill into this thing super quickly, and it will only run at night, so I should set it up. But that is a very cool animation. There's the thumbnail. The SPS is running. We're losing 6. That is not what you said that was going to take. But I could run this thing for like ages as is. Energy inputs. Oh yeah, I guess it is taking 2. It's producing so little of the stuff though. Progress. Yeah, that was progress towards 1. Polonium still building up. I could run this thing for a while, even with what we currently have saved up. But we technically are building up antimatter. Eventually we'll produce enough power for it. I kind of just I don't need to produce power. I just need this thing to like break even or lose so little that it doesn't matter. Because this can't run indefinitely. Like, I do not trust this thing to run indefinitely. Polonium's gonna run through these things. I guess I accidentally saved a lot of them stored in there. I thought I emptied these out. But yeah, this thing... Yeah, these things are producing polonium. Nuclear waste is getting... okay, yeah. At this point, the mitigating factor right now is going to be our actual nuclear waste production, which means this thing needs some heavy-duty upgrading. With these 2 upgraded, I should be able to boost this thing to at least 15. I might need more sodium production even, which I guess will be a good test to see if this is more efficient or 1 super tower. But anyways, looking at the time, major progress has been done. I'm just going to need to keep fiddling with this to make sure that we can actually sustain it. Yeah, that seems pretty safe here. In fact, that's going to keep building up. It's at 22.9. I can probably actually... 12 million? Just make sure we don't accidentally put 120 million. That would be bad. But I can pretty safely run it at that. 120 million. Core temp's going to go up. And that will make a slight dent. Maybe. Oh, that was only 500,000. I was thinking I did 5 million. Nope. But I probably can start more reliably doing like 5 million jumps. Just, this gets boosted by 500,000, this gets boosted by 5 million. That's pretty much the point we're at. It exponentially speeds up. But anyways, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have, and I hope to see you next time. So, without further ado, take care, everybody. I want to thank everyone one more time for watching, and a special thank you to the channel members, Yamato Tanagura, Goddess of the Star-Filled Void, and the Phantom Knight. Thank you three so much for the extra support. So for real now, take care, everybody.